Somewhere in Seoul, a grandmother is sitting on the kitchen floor with her 2-year-old granddaughter. She isn't teaching her. She isn't correcting her. She's just watching with a particular kind of attention that has a name in Korean. And here's what fascinates me. Researchers studying early childhood development kept finding this same thing in the data, in the homes, in the behavior of children who grew up loving to learn. It showed up everywhere. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what it is, and you'll wonder how nobody told you sooner. Korea has one of the highest rates of childhood academic motivation in the world. This is not the achievement of teenagers, but the achievement of children. Children as young as 2 and 3 who return to the same activity again and again, not because they're told to, but because something inside them genuinely wants to. And for decades, researchers couldn't explain it. It didn't match the diet. It didn't match the school system. The school system doesn't even begin until age 6. The answer was happening much earlier. In the home, on the floor, in the quiet space between a child and the adult watching them. I want to be honest with you before we go further. Korea has real pressures in its education system. The intense academic culture of later childhood is well documented and worth questioning. I'm not asking you to import all of that. I'm showing you what happens in the earliest years before the pressure begins, because that's where the science gets genuinely surprising. The concept is called Nunchi. It translates loosely as the ability to read the room to sense what another person needs without being told, but that translation doesn't fully capture it. Nunchi is less a skill and more a way of paying attention. A way of being present with another person so completely that you begin to understand them from the inside out. Korean mothers practice Nunchi with their toddlers from birth, not to teach them anything, not to stimulate them, simply to understand them, to watch what genuinely captures their child's attention, to notice what makes them lean forward, to observe the exact moment curiosity lights up, and to protect that moment instead of interrupting it. Here's where it gets fascinating. Developmental researchers studying what drives toddlers to explore found one variable that predicted intrinsic motivation more strongly than toys, more strongly than educational programs, more strongly than parental involvement in the traditional sense. It was this: whether the adult in the room followed the child's attention or redirected it. When a toddler points at something and the adult looks at exactly what the child is looking at, not nearby, not approximately, but precisely, and stays there with them in that moment of curiosity, something measurable happens in the child's brain. The experience of being truly seen in a moment of wonder becomes associated with wonder itself. Curiosity stops feeling like something that happens to them and starts feeling like something that belongs to them. That is Nunchi in action, and that is why Korean grandmothers sit on the kitchen floor. Now, here's the part I find personally difficult to practice. Because Nunchi requires something modern parenting almost never asks of us. It requires stillness. It requires resisting the urge to name the thing, explain the thing, turn the thing into a lesson. When your toddler picks up a leaf and stares at it for 40 seconds, every instinct says engage, ask questions, build vocabulary, make it count. Nunchi says something different. Nunchi says stay quiet. Follow their eyes. Let the leaf be enough. And this is where the research gets uncomfortable for Western parents. Studies consistently show that when parents direct, label, and instruct during a toddler's free exploration, even with good intentions, even with warmth, children show lower autonomous motivation over time. The American Academy of Pediatrics puts it plainly: learning is better fueled by supporting a child's intrinsic motivation through play than by external direction and instruction. We think we're building curiosity. Sometimes we're quietly replacing it with performance. The Korean approach trusts something Western parenting rarely does: that a toddler left alone with their own attention, held gently by an adult who is simply present and watching, will build a relationship with learning that no flashcard can create. So here is what this looks like in practice. Once a day, sit near your toddler during free play, not to engage, not to teach, simply to watch with genuine curiosity, as if you are seeing your child for the first time and you want to understand who they actually are. Follow their eyes. Notice what makes them slow down. Notice what makes them return to the same thing twice. When they look up at you, Don't perform enthusiasm. Just be there. Nod. Stay. That's it. That's the whole practice. Here's the truth nobody told you. A toddler who feels genuinely watched, not monitored, not assessed, but truly seen doesn't need to be motivated to learn. Curiosity is already there. It arrived the day they were born. Your job was never to install it. Your job is simply not to interrupt it. Nunchi, the art of paying attention so honestly that your child never has to perform curiosity to get yours. Start tonight. You already have everything you need. If this shifted something in the way you see your toddler, share it with a parent who needs to hear it. And if you want more on the hidden psychology behind how children learn, subscribe. There's a lot more coming. See you in the next one.